for joining me, Amruta.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. Are you excited?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great.
So, so should I start? Yes, I always wanted to study abroad. It was just because I have an elder brother and he went to UK to study. So it's like being the young child, I always looked up to my brother, and I just went to my dad one day like, I also want to study abroad. I want to do my master's abroad. He's like, not now. Do it after you get married. Which is like, I was like, okay, fine. I will earn something. I will come back and I will study. But that was there back of the mind. In 2015, I did my master's, and then I started working immediately into banking for 7 years. But in 7 years, I was working for credit loan department, which was like giving a lot of education loans. And during that education loan process, I have sent more than thousands of students abroad. And I was just like, every now and then there was a different country coming up, different programs coming up. I remember giving out loans to Lambton college students, and it was a journey down there. And every year I was just like, I'm just saving my money. So once I go back to my parents, I will be like, oh, I want to go, and this is something I want to do. I checked for countries, and at that time when I had a number of countries, so my sister is from US, so I checked for US and the other programs, but Canada came into picture because I was funding my education. So I wanted something which was like little economical yet good education. I would not lie, but when I applied, I came here and I was just like, Sania, I came here on first day and I was just like, I want to go back. Because I come from India, I come from Mumbai, and Mumbai is a city which never sleeps. It was day one. So
Day one,
day one. But yes, I sticked around and I was just like, no, I came here on certain purpose. My purpose was to, have expansion. Since I had knowledge, I had my experiences, but I wanted something like a global exposure to my bucket list.
Yeah, I like that you're like, how it came into your mind was almost out of jealousy.
Yeah.
You saw all these other students getting their education loans, they're going to Lambton College. You're like, I want to go to Lambton College now too.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I stayed. I'm so glad that I took my dream into the picture first and not the challenges which are coming around. The one thing which I had always in my mind is like, if you come out of your comfort zone, that's when you're gonna grow. And this was something like a comfort zone when I was there in India when I came here. So I was just like, no, I will stick around. Let's see what opportunities come by. If you go to any country, you should be equipped with what the culture is. So I took my time and I had planned, since I have done my master's in management and finance and banking and finance. So I had managed my finances accordingly. Like if I don't work for 5 or 6 months ahead, my finances are safe, but I'm gonna grow my skills. And that is very important as a student. Like if you are living your experiences or if you're living something which is like an income and you come as a student, you are building skills and development. And that is when I started getting involved in various activities here on campus. And I must say, like, Lambton College has a lot of activities for students. So I joined SAC. So I did a lot of volunteering for SAC. And while doing volunteering for SAC, I came across this position, which was like my first position, I must say. It was the student ambassador, but I did volunteering for that. So I started in winter as a volunteer. I came in fall 22. In winter of 23, I did volunteering. And in spring of 23, I became the ambassador. And then we had like the fall 23, which is one of the biggest intake we had. And I became from ambassador to a lead ambassador. And that's when we had like 21 ambassadors, and I had to manage 20, like the ambassadors, the groups, and the overall exposure. And it was a journey. I must say, I liked working there as well. And with that, I was also managing, like I was also a GuardMe ambassador. So on campus, I joined International Women's Club as a social media coordinator, and then I became the co-president and the president for all the 4 terms. And now I am the special advisor. And I remember I gave my first interview in the college. It was for the social media ambassador, and it was with Matt and Hannah. That was my first actual interview. And before that, it was like 31st of December, and I was just like, I'm just gonna mail City of Sania that I want to work for the development of Sania. Let's see if someone reads it or doesn't read it, but I'm gonna do that. And I did that. I went for this interview, but I didn't got the job. But there is something more which happened to me on that day, is like I didn't got the student social media ambassador job, but I got something like a recommendation to be part of the immigration task force Sania.
Sure. That's an amazing networking opportunity. Yes. And you just emailed them asking if there was any opportunity to help be a part of developing the community.
Yeah.
And then that's what they reached back out to you with, because that immigration task force, that's a newer initiative, right?
Yes. I guess it's a 5-year first program, developing program. So I started around like end of second year, and now since like I started in 23, so it's been more than a year now that I'm working for the task force.
Wow, it's a very good message to send aspiring students. Just taking initiative like that, like just putting yourself out there, can give you so many benefits.
Yes.
And before you even arrived, did you have that in your mind? Like once you came to Lambton College in Sarnia, did you think, I'm going to get involved with as many things as I can in the college, or was that something you thought about after you already got here?
I always thought about it because since childhood I've been very active with extracurricular activities. So I did my master's and I got graduated with my master's as well as distinguished alumni for being there as a social media as well as cultural head. So that was always in my agenda, or you must say always on my bucket list. And when I came here, I was, like I said earlier, I came here with a dream, but I came here to stand out too. So I wanted to make sure that people remember me. So it is just not by the name, but for my work too. So that was always part of my journey.
That email that you sent to the city, do you remember how you wrote it? What was included in that email? Because I imagine it would have been a very professionally well-written email, right?
I actually remember emailing with Amruta about something like being in a video, and your responses were like so professional. So I can imagine, yeah.
Yes. I feel if you're doing something for your professional growth, you should always be professional on that aspect. It's not like I'm gonna take it lightly, so life is gonna give me something which is very lightly. So if I'm putting all my efforts, so I did a lot of research, and I came through a Facebook Facebook post which had this information like the City of Sania and the emails down there, and what the City of Sania is working on, and how is the development and all the other information. And when I went, I didn't ask for job. I didn't do that. I asked like, I want to work. If it's voluntary, I would love to. I want to put that efforts down, and I want to work as in to develop it.
Yeah, I'm sure that would stand out, getting a professional message from a student who's not even responding to a specific job posting. For them to just say, I just want to, is there any way that I can help out to help develop this community? So yeah, sending a professional message like that's a good idea.
That is always a good idea, rather than going and asking people like, I want jobs. Like, you should make sure that you are capable enough that the things are coming up to you, and when the opportunity comes by, it will be like, oh, that might be the person. The employer should think like that might be the person who is very suitable for the job.
Right. When you demand a job, it's like what you're like asking them, you know, what can you do for me? But the way you did it, it was kind of like, what can I do for you guys?
Yes.
Which I'm sure they appreciated. Yeah. Now they're going to get 100 emails after this video with students looking for opportunities to develop the community, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with more students looking to, you know, try and improve Sarnia and Sarnia Lambton.
The other thing I would say, like, Lambton College has a lot of diversity, and you need to look for it. So there is something which I came across with the Fluency Friend program, where you have a Canadian friend for you, and I just applied. It's during the orientation, so I did apply for it. So for like 1 or 2 months, I didn't receive any emails, but after that I received, and I still remember my fluency friend Jenna, who I was with her for like all 3 terms, and till now we are good friends. So it was just not for that program, it is just for like lifetime. So, and this program just got me more closer to, like, you know, Canadian culture. So it was like every week you are sitting with that person and you are getting to know what exactly the culture is, how their upbringing was, and all the other information, the cuisine, what they like and dislike. And this is something which I would tell you from my personal experience. Since childhood we see a lot of movies, and we see a lot of English movies, and we used to see like this high school experience, and when I was sitting with her, it was exactly the same conversation. So I was just like, oh, this is something which is like I've seen in movies, but this is something which is happening in reality. So yeah, I liked it. And diversity wise, I would say, like, International Women's Club has given that opportunity down there. So we had like this multicultural fashion show, and we did that in winter. We had like 9 countries, but it went so high on demand that for the fall of 23 we had like 22 countries representing. So, and those were, I would say, like, those all are my friends, and that is something which makes you stand out too, because if you have certain problems and if you have people from diverse background, everybody has a different solution to that problem, and that is something which grows your mind. So I feel that is very important. During the fashion show, you organize something for an event, and at the very last moment, if you see something which is like, oh, this person has backed out, then as a president you have to stand for it. So
yeah,
since it's the time where I was just like, okay, if it's not there, I can go down. I guess I was wearing a sari and a good heels. I was just like, I hope I don't trip, otherwise I will say that's a dance step. So it's just like gonna be okay.
That's like a pretty amazing response. A lot of times in interviews for work, they'll ask you a time where you had to respond to a situation that like came up at the last second, and how you were able to like think on your feet. And for you, it's like, oh well, people dropped out of my fashion show, so I went up and I did a solo dance performance that everybody loved. Like, that would be such a good answer for that.
That is actually true, Eric, because I did a couple of interviews. I did one for Sanya Economic Development, and that interview was very big, and it had like a lot of questions and a lot of experience-based questions. So since I had like experience in different clubs and different activities as well as in academic, it helped me out to stand out in that interview. And so every question was backed by my volunteering experience. So it was just not like, oh, I did volunteering here and there, but no, I did this, and in that volunteering I did this certain amount of and that is something when you write on your resume that you are good in communication skills. How is that you're gonna prove, like interpersonal, or you are good with people from different backgrounds? So
by getting involved in all those experiences, you're getting, like, whether you even know it or not, you're adding so many soft skills that like a student who just goes to class and then like goes home and watches TV, like they're not gonna have the same amount of things that they can talk to during an interview. And we tell students that, like, when they are gonna do interviews in Canada, they're not just gonna like want to see a list of your skills. They're gonna want to know, like, how have you demonstrated that you actually know how to use those skills?
yes.
Was Canada represented?
Yes.
Yes?
So I will tell you.
Why wasn't Eric the representative for Canada?
Oh my
It's pretty
goodness.
offensive.
I was searching for a lot of Canadian students to be part of it, and I would tell you the story is I saw one girl who was just coming down from the cafeteria staircase, and she was just walking like she was a model, and we just went down to her. It was just like tomorrow is the fashion show, and we are just asking her today, like, can you come down tomorrow and just walk the same way as you're walking? And like, this is like, we just need someone from Canada to represent, like, it's the country that we are here and we want the culture to be down. And she agreed to it, and she came in like a good amount of, like, you know, whole gown, and she was the star of the moment, and everybody loved her in such a way that it was just like the crowd hooting, and she's just enjoying. She got overwhelmed. I remember her, like, she almost cried at that time, and looking at the crowd. And I was just like, I'm so sorry if I have made you to do something, and I didn't want to do. So she was like, no, I'm all okay. That girl has changed. Like every time we do fashion show, she comes up to us and she's like, I'm gonna participate. And the last time we had, like, she was dancing. So the person who cried at the first, she had like that confidence, and that is something which we wanted to build in, like a confidence among the students to come out.
Yeah, wow. I remembered it being somebody wearing like a jean jacket and pants. I don't remember the gown. Maybe I wasn't.
Yeah, the winter one.
The winter one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so good that you just scouted a good walk. Like I would be, if you didn't know who I like was and walked by me and said, can you do that walk in the fashion show? I would be there for sure. I'd be like, nobody's ever identified that I walk well. Like,
Next
in a
time.
fashion show.
Next time I'm
Well,
gonna call
I
you.
don't have the walk, so. Yeah, if you show me someone who does something like that, they're probably a successful person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's I don't know, it's just like good energy. I think it's a rare trait. Like Canadians, I would say, don't do that very often. Like if somebody compliments like my hat or my shoes or whatever, I remember that for like weeks because it just doesn't happen very often. Maybe that's just my experience, but it's always, I think, a good to put yourself out there and to try and get other people involved. And like you said, the fashion show, I mean, it's a really smart way to get so many students involved at the same time and also make them feel like confident, welcome, and proud of their culture. It's like the perfect event, I feel like, for international students who are new here to take part in.
They feel included. They feel like Lambton College is their home, and if you see them, they have like a different amount of smile and joy when they represent their country, but they are in the country of their dreams. So yes. And there are 3 other committees I'm involved in. So one was academic
I didn't
planning.
have time to work here.
Yeah, you know, the students should not feel like they don't only have to do volunteering, they have to do academics too, to excel.